Oh, hey there. It's Thorne. How you doing? I just left the beautiful and icy cold 31 degree Lombardi, Vince Lombardi service station. Now crossing the George Washington Bridge again. Hate to keep doing these on the road here, but I've been on a little vacation, a little mini vac, enjoying life a little bit. And today I figured I'd talk to you about my favorite vacation of all time, or vacations. Anyway, in the I want to come up with some type of front thing, thinking about it as I drove and sat in traffic for the last 15 minutes. Something along the lines of in the competitive travel industry, paying over price is considered especially heinous. In the corporate travel concierge world, the elite squad known as the travel agents, I don't know. Anyway, these are ThorneStories. Anyway, so I do want to talk about a couple things. Number one, favorite vacation of all time. Number two, second favorite vacation of all time right before that vacation. And number three, which I'll start out with, is, obviously I've gained a couple pounds since that last trip, as you can see in the, passport photo or visa for that location. Anyway, check out before you do anything. Forget subscribe and all that stuff. If you watch this, great. If not, that's okay. But check out at CTC Vacations on Facebook. Check out, Corporate Travel Concierge. Email corporatetravelconcierge@gmail.com if you'd like to get in touch. We have tons of members, new members actually, reaching out because of the Facebook page, which we relaunched after that data breach from Facebook and everything. But we got a ton of new people coming along board, and a lot of old members that have come back. So, nonetheless, I did a bunch of apples to apples comparisons for those of you assholes that say, well, oh my God, he's still doing the vacation thing. Yes, I am. And I love what I do because, well, I get to travel for a lot less money and go further, stay longer, go more often, and do the things I like to do. Couple trips I just want to share with you before we do get started. I pulled up, did some apples to apples. All of these are going to be on the Facebook page. So if you check it out, it's at the @ symbol, CTC Vacations. You can also check out the Twitter, which I asked permission and got to start running. So those of you that know me know that I just got into Twitter, like 10 years late, but I think it's awesome. It's an awesome avenue of communication. I jokingly wrote, Facebook is where you share opinions and Twitter's where you share ideas. But anyway, spring break, May 1st to May 6th. Now, I put spring break May 1st to May 6th because I thought that's what most people are doing spring break. My brother just is home now in Philly from Penn State. Their spring break, it has been snowing. Their spring break, for whatever reason they decided, is the first week of March. It's not spring at all. There's snow on the ground. It snowed yesterday. But anyway, May 1st to May 6th, good time to go to Miami. I picked arguably the nicest resort down there, the Fontainebleau, which is definitely, it's got a name. It's awesome. It's right on Collins Avenue. It is the nicest resort, if you ask me, down there. And I did the 1st through the 6th. First of all, airfare, I don't know where you're flying out of. I'll just be first and foremost. We guarantee you pay the lowest on the plane when you book it, but we can't discount domestic airfare, so just get that through your head. But my parents just came back. They paid $50 for a flight into Tampa. If you're going to Miami or South Beach, I just flew my buddy in. He flew on JetBlue, his flight. Now, he only got a one-way, but it was $96. So I don't care. Let's call airfare on the high end, $300 round trip. Make sure you do nonstop. Less if you do, stops and all that stuff, which who wants to do that? But the Fontainebleau, May 1st through May 6th, king room, ocean view. Is it important that you get an ocean view? Why go if you're not? Okay. Booking.com has it for $2,855 for that same exact room, apples to apples comparison. Our members pay $1,279. That is a total savings of, I don't know, I'm bad at math here, but $1,550. So you just saved $1,550 to do the exact same trip, stay in the exact same room. Whose pina colada tastes better when you're sitting at that poolside bar, okay? Our price, you can fly first class and still pay less than Booking.com. Our price, you can go rent Wave Runners every day. You can go party at, Club Live and get your meals for less money than Booking.com for just the room. That's the point. That's the point. I'll do two more and then I'll continue with my favorite trip. So all of these are going to be posted, like I said, on the Facebook page, probably the Twitter as well. Paris, France, okay? This is La Clef Tour Eiffel. So you got to see the Eiffel Tower in the background of this hotel. Priceline has it for $2,368. So let's just round up on both of these. That's $2,400 through Priceline. Our members, $1,477. So $1,477 versus $2,368. $1,500 versus $2,400. That's $900 back in your pocket, wallet, or purse. Again, go get some baguettes at $900 worth, okay, and beat each other as you run across the lawn there. All right. Or for most families, it's the difference in going or not going. Last one here. Where is this? The Sheraton Maui Resort and Spa. Oceanfront King. Okay, again, you want to do an oceanfront. If you ever go to book something, okay, with us, I recommend picking up the phone and calling. But if you want to do it through, let's say, our website, okay, make sure you just pick the Oceanfront King option, all right? Or Oceanfront if you have multiple people you want to do like a double king or whatever you want. But Oceanfront, the difference between Oceanfront and Ocean View is a lie. That means that you might be able to smell the ocean if you lean out far enough off the balcony. Oceanfront means you actually see the ocean when you open up your balcony window and you slide across your curtains. Now, this is a Sheraton, so it's a 4.5 star. Very recommended from TripAdvisor. And Travelocity has it for $38.67. Our members pay $22.92. So again, $3,900 versus $2,300. Okay, $3,900. Honey, Hawaii's a little far. I don't know if I want to go to Hawaii. Well, we'll go somewhere else, or even worse. Honey, one day we're going to make it there. Honey, I've been lying to you for the last 13 years and, saying we were going to go there for our honeymoon and we still haven't made it yet. But honey, one day we're going to make it. At $3,900, you're probably not heading in the right direction of going. Especially when you have to pay your flight, you have to pay for your food, your fun, your entertainment, your culture, and everything else. Whereas our members, it's $2,300. The flight, if you leave out of JFK, which is, a lot of our members leave out of JFK or Newark. Then we have, if you're leaving out of West Coast, it's even cheaper. But if you're in the middle of nowhere, who knows how much. But out of JFK, your flight to Hawaii shouldn't be more than around $600 or $700. So essentially, if you paid, let's just say $600 or $700 through us, $600 or $700 through Travelocity, that's a wash. But the $1,000 that you save, the $1,100 that you save, okay, is the difference in most families in whether they go or they don't go, number one. And number two, what they do while they're there. Everybody can be cash poor when they go on vacation. Blow all your money on how you get there and where you stay and have nothing to bring back a piece of koa wood or some type of souvenir. That's the worst. Because you didn't go on vacation and come back and say, oh my God, you should have seen it. Could you imagine? We sat in seat 26B on that plane and it was just magnificent. No one gives a shit about that. We care about what you did while you were there. You care about what you did. Why do you want to go back? Okay, was it because of the plane ride? Was it because of the room you stayed in? Maybe the room was nice, but have money in your pocket for the real reasons that you're there. To go experience, get one of those legs wrapped around your neck as you're drinking, a sex on the beach. On the beach! Anyway, so just a few recommendations there. Again, you have to be a member in order to book these, but in just those 3 trips, your membership was free. So there you go. It's as simple as, take a couple vacations before you're dead, you make your money back. I did a ad on our Facebook page the other day because it's something that we say in our presentations. I belong to Costco. I pay $100 for a Costco membership. I have a Doberman and a Bull Terrier at home. They eat dog food. I save $25 per bag on dog food at Costco versus Petco, at Costco versus Chewy.com, at Costco versus anywhere else. So, if I save $25 per bag and I buy 4 bags of dog food in the course of a year, how much did my $100 Costco membership actually cost me? And if you're a semi-intelligent person, you'll realize it's zero. This number right here, nothing. So that's the reason why people join this program, is because if you want a vacation and you want to do the things you've always talked about doing, well, vacations aren't getting cheaper. To be frank, they're getting, and to be frank, I always say that, and I got in trouble saying that on that stupid video. But anyway, to be blunt, okay, vacations are going up anywhere between 14 and 18% every year, and cost of income or cost of living or CPI, Consumer Price Index, is going up 0 to 3%. So unless you're getting some significant raise every year, vacations are getting further and further away, from attaining. So that's why you should become a member. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about some favorite vacations. So people always ask, not necessarily from YouTube or Facebook, but just in general, friends, family, where has your favorite vacation been? And I have to say, the best vacation of all time. People say, I spend it with my family, I do all this. I love my family, love them to death. Favorite vacation was going to Brazil by myself. 2015 to 2016 New Year's, it was absolutely amazing. And I credit a lot of things to that trip. Number one, on New Year's down in Brazil, first of all, the way I found this trip was I Google searched. And that's how I do a lot of my trips, is I Google search. Hey, what is the number 1 New Year's party in the world? And this was October of 2015. And I said, okay, it came up as Australia and Brazil. Brazil is a better party. Australia has more people, or had more people. When I went, it broke the record with 3.1 million people on Copacabana Beach. 9 cruise ships right in that lagoon. You had a dozen, those bunker things, whatever the hell they're called, just floating, shooting up fireworks. And I'll show you a video of that. Yeah, I'll actually post that too. You can check that out. But nonetheless, flew to Brazil, booked it in October, flew to Brazil the 27th. Made 1 phone call, by the way. Again, that's how simple it is. You pick up the phone, say, hey, I want to go to Brazil. Get me the best room with the best view for my budget. My budget. And some have a bigger budget, some have lesser budget. Neither here nor there. I can put you in where you want to go. Just tell me what your budget is. My budget per year is generally around $3,000. Okay, I spend $3,000 on vacations. Whether that's 1, 3, 5, it doesn't matter. I don't overindulge, but I get overindulged because they're more affordable. But anyway, so I had $3,000. I said, all right, let's book this trip. So I got the Rio Othon Palace, floor 22. I'm in a deluxe oceanfront suite with a corner unit. It had a wraparound balcony looking over Copacabana Beach in the dead center. Above and beyond that, it was a deluxe room, so it had a glass room with a dining room table in it. It had 2 bathrooms, 2 bidets, 2 walk-in closets. It was absolutely unbelievable. It was, what else? I invited everybody I could up to the room. It was hey, you want to check this out? It's the coolest place you'll ever be. Mini bar, living room, a wall that was on tracks, so it slid open. So that glass room I just told you actually opened up into the bedroom, which had a king, bedroom with a full bathroom in there. It was absolutely awesome. And then in Brazil, on New Year's, you're supposed to wear all white. Go ahead, boss. In Brazil, you're supposed to wear all white. So naturally, Okay, I wore a all-white seersucker suit, and it looked like the Kentucky Fried Chicken Man, but I had a red tie because you're supposed to wear a flare of some type of color to bring in, something into fruition into the new year. Red was love, green is money, this and that, whatever colors you want. And then you jump into the beach, it's awesome. But anyway, so I wore a red tie and a white seersucker suit. Well, why do I say I credit a lot of things to this trip? Is 6 months later, I met the love of my life, Miss Olivia. I don't know if she wants me to tell her whole name and all her story anyway, but nonetheless, we're getting married next year. We have a baby coming in May, and we have a son, Bodie. He's awesome, but anyway, it sucks that I have to leave him every Tuesday to go to work, but somebody's got to work, right? No, she works a lot. But anyway, so awesome trip. But before that, so let's just go back. Celebrated Christmas at my parents' house like I always do. Spent time with family. Spent the next day talking people out of coming with me because I don't want anyone to travel with me. I wanted to do this. I like doing a trip every year by myself. But flew down December 27th or December 26th, but it was an overnight flight, so it was 9 hours. Just had some pre-flight cocktails and a couple melatonin. Crashed out in the back of the plane. There you go. Woke up at 8:30 in the morning in Brazil. Took a cab to my hotel and did my exchange there. It was awesome. Your currency exchange, but anyway, it's a Portuguese country, and checked in. Was all well rested from the flight in. Sorry, I'm driving in shithole New York. And then day one, I said, hey, where can I rent scooters? They said, oh, okay, you want to rent scooters? I said, I'll just walk to go get one. They said, okay, great. They said, make a left, go up, make another left, and you'll go up a hill, a steep hill. You can take a cab there. And I just said, I'll walk, it's close. And it's 90 degrees, so, it was awesome out. And it's up, it looks like a sketchy neighborhood, but they rent scooters up there. I said, okay, cool, perfect. So I rented a scooter, one of those mopeds or whatever. And I'm driving around. Little do I know that that's in the favelas. Oh, that's her calling me now, see? She's calling me now, but anyway. So it's in the favelas, which favelas are essentially tax-free, criminal-run, illegal housing that the government allows. So you see them in movies. They're like the stacks on stacks on stacks on top of the mountain that just, some of them have the best view, but they don't pay for it, which is great. Anyway, so I rented this place up, I drove my scooter up all through the favelas, didn't get killed. It's essentially, everyone said, hey, be careful, be leery. It's like going to Manhattan to me. That's how big the city is, and that's how wild I think it is anyway that I ran into, is, have a head on your shoulders, have a little street smart to you, and don't get in trouble. You're good. So, had an excellent day, and just was a complete, local. I didn't talk to anybody, kept to myself, and just drove around, went to soccer fields, went into town, went as close as I could figure out how to get to the Christ the Redeemer statue. Didn't realize that in Brazil, well, at least in Rio, particularly on the beach here, they turn the lanes at certain times of day where they're normal 4 lanes going straight, 4 lanes going this way, or 2 and 2, whatever it was, to just a one-way street, so to prevent, heavy traffic, which I thought was pretty unique. But anyway, confused the hell out of me, so got shot in the wrong direction, had to make a U-turn, and got back to my hotel, hung out on the beach, hung out at the pool bar, and just relaxed. Day one, great time. Day two. Okay. Day two, I woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I said, what tours do y'all do? So they said, okay, well, we got a half-day tour. Half-day meaning from 9:30 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. was their version of a half-day tour. It was absolutely highly recommended. It was $50, and it was the coolest trip because we took a bus and complete tourist this day. Took a bus, went right to this cool cathedral, 30-story tall cathedral Okay, now keep in mind this is right around Christmas, so there was the nativity scene, and imagine 30 stories with no floors. So you're in this giant temple-like pyramid-shaped, circle church with 4 30-story stained glass windows from floor to ceiling. Okay, then you're breathtaking and all there, and we go to a soccer field. The soccer field was where I think they were planning for the Olympics. Okay, but anyway, then we go over. That was cool. Got some cool popsicles and just hanging out. Then we go to the. It kept getting better, So then we go to the Samba Festival, where they do the Samba Festival every year, and that's essentially like a stadium in itself. It reminded me of like Churchill Downs. So if you've ever been to Churchill Downs, like a racetrack where it's like low to floors, bleachers, and then they have the big walkthrough where I guess the horses would be. But anyway, that's where the Samba, they do like a Samba thing every year. So then then we went to my favorite, which was the Christ the Redeemer statue. Now, getting to was easy if you have a bus. The people who parked at the bottom and chose to walk to the top, God bless you, okay? Y'all are probably doing like triathlons and marathons in your spare time, because it's like 3 miles in just switchbacks going around the mountain to the top. So much so that there's an actual train just dedicated, like a trolley that takes you up to the top. Or there's a road, which, a lot of people take buses to get up to the top. So I took a bus. Anyway, that was awesome. So we go up to the top. The Christ the Redeemer statue that you've seen in the movies, Jesus with his arms spread out. Absolutely amazing. Okay, it's bigger than you think it is. And you're looking up. You can't even touch his feet. That's how tall it is. And it's just, they tell you the whole story about it. And they just give you free to roam around that whole area. There's bar there. There's, you can buy drinks, you can buy food, there's shops. So I naturally bought these 2, I think it's made of soapstone or some type of stone. But anyway, I bought the actual Christ the Redeemer statues. I say they're this big. They're like 1.5 feet tall, like 18 inches tall. They had bigger ones. I just didn't want to carry them, especially, you got to plan for flying home with these things. So anyway, I had them wrapped up, and I got one for my parents, one for myself, and they're awesome. They're still at my house. But anyway, number 1 souvenir of all time. I'd say number 1 souvenir of all time. So then, sorry, I was thinking about the trip before this. So then we go down the mountain, which that was the only cluster right there. Was it's so many people trying to leave at one time. There's so many other buses and things like that. It's a tourist trap, and to get up to this mountain, you're at the top, so you have a way to get down. But anyway, we get down the mountain, and they say we're going to a place called Sugarloaf. Now, at this point, here's my beautiful fiance. At this point, I am all right, it's been a long day. All I really wanted to see was this Christ Redeemer statue. It's amazing. It's so cool. This is awesome. Forgot my selfie stick, so I got pictures of me holding like this with the Jesus up top. So then I was like, all right, cool. They go, we're going to Sugarloaf Mountain. That was day 2. Keep in mind, although corporate travel concierge, they'll plan the whole trip for you, which I'll bring up in another trip, vacation. But I just went to go. I wanted to see the Christ Redeemer statue. I wanted to go I learned a little Portuguese, and I wanted to go fit in like locals. I'm going by myself. I'm trying to enjoy this trip. And naturally, they say, we're going to Sugarloaf. I said, okay, what's that? Okay. Sugarloaf Mountain, or Sugarloaf Mountains, are 2 mountains that jut out. They're small, but they're big. They jut out of the water, and you take a cable car to the top, or from one to the other, from the top of one to the other. These are old German cable cars, and I'll have to post links to those, or look it up, Sugarloaf Mountain, just like it sounds, Sugarloaf Mountain. So you take this cable car, and you just jump in, and it takes you, you and 30 or 40 other people across the cable cars onto the other side, where there's panoramic, amazing, 360-degree views, and just, again, it's breathtaking. You're looking at the water, it's crystal clear. You have the Christ the Redeemer statue off in the distance. You have that 30-story church I told you about off in the distance. You have, hold on, there we go. you have some awesome stuff. Anyway, so that was that part of it. I'll have to post these pictures. But anyway, so then we go back. It's like 4:30 in the afternoon. Time for some cocktails. Go out. Everybody's talking about this bar called like the Scenerarium or something like that. Some weird name, clever name, in Lapa. So Lapa from Copacabana, I guess, was like a half-hour Uber. They have Uber down there. So I just, Uber. Boop, boop, boop. So, all right, guy lets me connect to his Bluetooth. We're partying. I'm drinking in the car. We're headed to the club. Get to the club. It is 4 stories, indoors and outdoors, of like just people from around the world, hanging out with Australians and Indians and just Argentinians and not a lot of Americans, but everybody from all over, all walks of life, and it was an absolute incredible just night. You could buy bottles. At the time I was drinking peach Ciroc. That was my drink of choice. It's probably where I put a lot of the weight on. It's pure sugar. It's like syrup. But you can buy bottles of it, like actual fifths or liters. So you buy them for like $40 and you just walk around. And that was my conversation starter was, hey, where are you from? What are you doing? How you doing? What's going on? What's fun around here? Station outside the country. People, like I said, from all over the world. So that was fun. Apparently, I didn't know that the bar doesn't close until you leave. I didn't know this. It's apparently rude to just get out. We're closing, so they just let you hang out. 4:30 in the morning, I'm like, I'm going to walk home. I don't particularly remember how to, sorry, there's a copper. I don't particularly remember how I got home. But apparently I gave my phone number out to a lot of people for the room that I was in. And because I had like 6 missed phone calls. I woke up at like, 11 o'clock the next morning. Dozen missed phone calls and messages of people with all different accents asking, hey, you all right, brother, dude? Hey, Australian, all that stuff. So that was cool. I had pictures of the sun coming up at Copacabana with security guards or policia sitting on, on the, it's like Times Square, so it's real lit up, but also, you don't want to go down the side streets, things like that, so that's all good. So anyway, then there's an art show the next day when I wake up, and that's all day. They're building sand castles that are, as big as, some people's houses in the favelas. And it was just, so that was the next day. And I'm waking up, I'm hungover. I'm like, what do I want to do? So I walk on the beach and I see these people that are jumping. Oh, this is where I met them. So I met them on that tour I took the day before. And they said the next day they were going to do hang gliding. So I said, no way, that's awesome. All right. So I said, where are you going? Where do you meet? And I met where they were going to be meeting. And I got there at like 12 o'clock. And I wasn't sure if I had to be there early or what. But I asked, hey, can I do paragliding? And they said, or hang gliding at first. And they were like, hey, your fat ass is too big to do hang gliding. You can do paragliding. I said, okay, great. So paragliding, the difference is hang gliding is exactly what you think it is. It's a hang glider, with the big triangle that you hold on to and you just jump and run off the ramp and then you're just flying. Paragliding is where you take a parachute and you pull it, like you run as fast as you can off of a cliff and you pull the parachute so it fans over top of you, and at the moment it's over top of you, you're jumping off of a cliff and you're just floating in the air with a parachute. It's essentially base jumping without the base part of it. You just jump with the parachute's already deployed. So then you're floating and so this took about 4 hours. We're sitting at the top because we had to wait for the winds to be right. And so we're sitting up there. There's huge orange and red iguana-like reptiles just eating fruit and stuff, and bananas we're tossing to them. We're drinking some beers and hanging out. We're eating these amazing little ham sandwich things that were like in a ball of dough with some sesame seed and poppy seed on top. Awesome sandwiches. But anyway, we're just hanging out. So then it gets to be my turn, right? And I'm waiting for the person in front of me. And the way this worked was they would do hang glider, paraglider, hang glider, paraglider, because the hang glider was up top, paraglider was on the bottom deck. And I mean, if you're standing at the edge of this thing, first of all, it's probably pitched at like a I don't know, if this is what, I don't know, like a 30 degree, not 45, but 30 degree. And you're looking down. I mean, it goes straight down like 60, 80 feet. But you have to, you're going out, take a little dip, and you're already like, I don't know, a couple thousand feet, or probably about 1,000, 1,200 feet up in the air. So and you're going to land on the beach. So the people right in front of me, it's a female, she's attached to her person, you know, the person behind her, and you're told just to walk as fast as you can and pull the person behind you, essentially, so that you take off, and they're in charge of the parachute at first, right? So, all right, they go. Their parachute, instead of going from behind them to above them, went behind them, above them, and in front of them, and they fell straight down. And I'm like, oh shit, did they just die? They didn't die. Apparently this may happen occasionally, because all they did was throw this long ass rope, and these people with the guide, or with the person, were in the bushes hanging from a tree, beat the shit, which sucks and all, but they were hanging from a tree from their parachute like 50 feet below. They didn't break anything, I guess. They weren't yelling or anything. They would just, oh shit, everyone went crazy, and then threw the rope down, and literally the rope was thrown down, and my guy was like, all right, they're good, let's just go. I said, you're better than them, right? He goes, oh, their guide sucks. I said, okay, one of these, let's go. So they're still fishing these people out. Hang glider goes, and we just run and take off. I got a GoPro in my hand, and it was one of the coolest experiences of my life there. Floating, hungover. You want to cure a hangover? There you go. Just floating in the air. I mean, you're at least 1,000 feet in the air, and just looking around, and you know, it's absolutely breathtaking. You know, and there's hang gliders beside you and around you, and you know, it felt like an hour, but it was probably only about 10 minutes, and we eventually fall onto the beach, had a soft landing. It was great. So, and then I had another beer and another ham sandwich thing at the bottom while I was waiting for my video to be made, which I have, I thought I was taking a video, but it was really just pictures. So the whole time I'm yelling and stuff, I guess I pressed the wrong button on the GoPro. So I just have a shitload of pictures, rather than like a picture in succession every like 10 seconds or whatever, rather than a video, which would have been way cooler. So I got to go back and do it again. Another reason to go. So now it's like 5 o'clock, and I'm like, all right, you know, whatever, what can I do now? So I meet somebody down there also waiting for their video, who recommended a helicopter ride. So I'm like, all right, cool. Well, so I say, all right, let's do that. So again, by myself, I call up this helicopter company that they used, and he's like, all right, well, are there two of you? No, that's just me. Well, you got to pay for two. That's the only negative about going on vacation by yourself, is everything's pretty much double occupancy, or pairs, you know? I don't give a shit. So I jumped off the cliff, hang out on the beach, drink a couple beers, schedule a helicopter ride, and now it's like 6 o'clock. I have my own private helicopter ride about a half hour away. What's that place Frank Sinatra talks about? I met a girl from Ipanema, okay? So I have to go up to Ipanema Beach to get the helicopter. Fly the helicopter. I'm the only person in this awesome bubble copter, right? Copter. And I'm in the front seat, and the guy's like, you know, he's like my age, okay? And he takes off. We go up. We circle friggin' the Christ the Redeemer statue. I shouldn't say friggin'. We circle the Christ the Redeemer statue. We go over Sugarloaf Mountains. We go up, and I mean, like we were like kissing the Christ the Redeemer statue. We go over people's mansions. We go across and along the beach. We see all the cruise ships coming in, because keep in mind it's New Year's Eve. We go all around all the beaches, the favelas. We're dipping low. We're going to, it was absolutely amazing. What a great way to end that day. And then, so now it's New Year's Eve. So I'm a little exhausted. I come back. I think I take like an hour nap, get back up, and get dressed in my white seersucker suit, and I'm all excited. I had already invited a ton of people that I met at the bars and everything. Come back, hang out. So one other negative thing, I guess I could say, because again, it's an 11. Okay, I got to bring it down to a 10, I guess. Okay, so they didn't let all the people being there. So I was only allowed to bring up, a couple people. So I brought up some Indian friends. Kiwi and G are their abbreviated names. I don't know. That's what we called them. But anyway, they came up and they were hanging out in the room. They got their, cameras and everything. And I'll post the video of New Year's down there. I mean, just imagine, I don't know, 100,000 fireworks going off in like 10 minutes, 9 cruise ships from behind, the hotels on the beach from in front, the beach with 3.1 million people all doing samba dances, and just gonna make sure I'm not getting pulled over. 3.1 million people on the beach. They had a stage set up. They had an art festival. They had sand castles built. They had, again, just more people than anything. And, it was absolutely amazing. We didn't leave until about 1 from the room. We go down to the beach. And again, it's right in front of the hotel. And we just, hang out. We jump in the water. I lose them, meet new people, and have an awesome time. People were sleeping on the beach like all night. You had to watch out for people, that everyone's just crashing, hanging out, relaxing. I mean, it was the coolest party. So that was, I told you. Okay. So remember how I said I spend about $3,000 a year on vacations? Oh, and then the next 2 days were basically clubs and partying and enjoying, life with the people I met. And just, being a tourist, I guess. So anyway, that was Brazil. Hung out at the beach, hung out at the pool. Oh, bought a ton of souvenirs. Drinks were cheap. Everything was inexpensive there. But so I go to I fly home. That was New Year's 2015 into 2016. Favorite vacation of all time. I told you earlier though, I spend about $3,000 a year on vacations. And when I say on vacations, I'm talking about how I get there, how I get around while I'm there, where I stay while I'm there. Generally, if you've heard the Dominican Republic story, then I've stayed in a couple dumps, but they were for good reason. So then you have what else? What was I saying? Oh, I'm talking about where you stay, how you get there, how you get around, and then in addition, the food, the fun, the entertainment, the culture, the souvenirs, the reason you showed up in the first place, everything from soup to nuts, the whole trip. Well, this whole trip was my second trip that year and was a little more expensive than my first trip. Total, I spent about just under $4,000 for both trips. That trip cost me from start to finish about $2,300, and the trip before that cost me about $1,400. Okay, the trip before that was none other than Cuba, November of 2015. So I booked Brazil October. I was so excited to go, and I kept telling my buddies and stuff that they're not coming with me. I don't care, come again next time, okay? But I'm going, I take a trip every year. I was stressed out at the time. I worked, however many hours a week. But anyway, so I said I take a trip every year. So my business partner at the time says, all right, if you're not going to let me come to Brazil with you, let's go somewhere else. So we went to Cuba in November of 2015. So I booked that in October, told him he can't come. So he says, let's go somewhere else. So November, we go to Cuba, all right? Now this trip cost me about $1,300, 13 and change, so $1,400. That includes the flight from Philadelphia. No, we flew from DC. From DC down to Florida. Good engine in it nonetheless, because they have the nice bodies, but They don't have the innards of normal cars because we haven't had a treaty with them since the 50s. We had the same tour guide that Mick Jagger and Beyonce and Jay-Z had. We stayed at the Malaya, which is a 5-star hotel, which would be like 3.5-star by American standards, but Cuba's behind the 8 ball a little bit. We didn't get, this was a trip I did, one phone call. I said, hey, I want to go to Cuba. You can't get a tourist visa from the United States to Cuba in 2015. Obama at the time was starting to open up the borders a little bit, but you couldn't get a tourist visa, so we had to get an educational visa. They had us 3 scheduled tours per day. We didn't go to any of them. It was an awesome trip, an awesome experience, because it won't ever be the same in my opinion. Again, with more people going every year. But the 56 Bel Air, the old Pontiacs, the old Dodges, the old Plymouths, the old Buicks, I don't think they're Pontiacs. But it was an awesome trip all around. We got to do all the things we wanted to see. Like, we had our own bodyguard that would take us around. He was like 100 pounds soaking wet, but he was our bodyguard, our negotiator, our travel agent, our tour guide, I should say. He took us to the museums. He told us all about Fidel and Raul taking over, and how commerce is coming to the country, and how it's all getting better, and they really like where they live. And the museum is absolutely amazing. The story behind Fidel overtaking the government down there is absolutely amazing if you don't know it. We went to the rum factory. We went to the cigar factory. We tried getting into the Cohiba factory, but that's actually just an old embassy that they took over and said, hey, we're going to start making cigars here. So we couldn't get in there. We went to Portugal, whatever the hell that cigar company is. We went to that one. That was fun. We're smoking Cuban cigars, hanging out on the beach, relaxing. The art was absolutely amazing. That's why I was questioned whether or not the Christ the Redeemer statue was my favorite souvenir, because I bought 10 pieces of art from Cuba that I paid like, I want to say $800 for, and I think they'd probably be worth about, I don't know, a few thousand to say the least here. They were absolutely amazing. But anyway, I still have them. They decorate my house in Virginia. So then we went to, so the whole time I'm there, keep in mind, we were on 3 scheduled tours a day. We went to 0. But we did tours we wanted to do that weren't on our manifest. We did like the rum factory, the cigar factory. The whole time I'm there, I said, you know what? I'm from the U.S. I want to see a cockfight. Think of me what you will. I don't care. I wanted to see a cockfight while I'm in Cuba. So I say, hey, you make it happen, I'll give you $50. $50 is a lot of money. So he says, all right, I'll make it happen. So day 3 or 4. We're only down there for 5 days, okay? This is how much you can do in 5-day vacations. The whole reason I think this is in my mind right now doing this video is A, I'm driving, but B, my parents just got back from Florida after 3 days, had an awesome trip. And meanwhile, my cousin just got back from Dominican Republic for a week and hated it after day 4. You don't need a long trip to have an excellent, amazing experience and awesome time. So we're there. So day 3 or 4 while we're there, he goes, hey, come here. So we follow him out. We're on this art tour, doing like there's like this makeshift zoo type place where they're feeding us like rabbit and stuff. It's awesome. And there's, artwork and stuff, local stuff. I bought a painting from there. But he goes, come over. These guys in this back alley bring out, and sure enough, I got a video of that too. Me and my business partner at the time, we're betting on them. It was awesome. We got our own private personal cockfight, and that's a once-in-a-lifetime experience that, again, I don't really want to see again, but it was something that will never happen for me again, and it was a once-in-a-lifetime trip. So cross that off the bucket list. That's what vacation should all is, experiencing culture, seeing things you haven't seen before, and just enjoying life that much more. All right, we have this phrase every presentation. The world is a book, and those that do not travel read only one page. Well, the fuck's the point of having the book? In other words, what's the point of living life if you're not going to experience it to the fullest? Enjoy. Have a great one. That's all for me. Thorne Green, concierge or corporate travel concierge. If you have any questions, subscribe, write comments. I don't know, send a pigeon, somehow get in touch with me. Facebook page at CTC Vacations, corporate travel concierge. Not our partner in New Zealand and not the one in the United Kingdom, the one in Estados Unidos, the United States. So that's all for me. Go have fun. Go to Brazil. It's my best vacation ever. Bye.